guys, like a Jeffrey Epstein type guy, who works with the elite of the elite clientele. It's all movie stars, big-time politicians, world leaders, scientists, Nobel Prize winners, and they all meet.
Joe Rogan recently talked about something really disturbing about Diddy's case. But what makes it even scarier is that the problem might not stop with Diddy. Some people believe the situation goes much higher, all the way up to the most powerful people in entertainment. Rogan's podcast conversation made it seem like he may have said something that others are afraid to say out loud. In this video, we're going to explain the whole power pyramid, starting with Diddy and moving upward toward the people whose names almost never get mentioned. At the very top are the people who seem protected no matter what happens, the ones nobody questions, the ones who stay hidden. Most people think the story ends with Diddy being arrested and punished, but Rogan suggested something much bigger is going on behind the scenes. Before we talk about who might really be pulling the strings, it's important to understand what Diddy is accused of doing. Diddy has been arrested and charged with very serious crimes. Prosecutors say he used his fame, money, and power to put people into dangerous situations. Some of these things allegedly happened at private parties, sometimes called freak-offs. People claim guests didn't know they were being recorded. That's where it starts to feel very dark, because recordings can be used later to threaten or control someone. Over 120 people have reportedly come forward with accusations. Some say they were underage at the time, which makes the case even more serious. A new documentary connected to 50 Cent has brought even more attention back to the story, making people ask more questions. But here's what shocked people the most. What if Diddy wasn't working alone? Joe Rogan started pointing out something that makes many people uncomfortable. He said there seems to be a pattern in these kinds of cases. Someone gets arrested for trafficking or horrible crimes, but nobody else ever gets arrested with them. Rogan compared it to Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was accused of trafficking people, but to who? The public never got a full list of names. Then, Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of trafficking too, but again, no powerful customers were named. Rogan asked, how does that make sense? It feels like the biggest people always stay safe. Then Rogan brought up something else. Many famous people have joked for years about attending Diddy's parties. People have said things like, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Rogan mentioned names like LeBron James and Ashton Kutcher. He asked a blunt question. If all these celebrities were there, how did nobody see anything wrong? That silence made people suspicious. Then the conversation moved even higher. Some people believe Diddy wasn't the most powerful person in the room. Rogan and others mentioned Lucian Grange, the CEO of Universal Music Group, one of the biggest music companies in the world. A lawsuit reportedly mentioned Grange by name, suggesting that big music executives may have known what was happening, or should have known. The lawsuit claims these parties weren't secret and that powerful people may have attended or helped protect what was going on. Commentator Candace Owens questioned why the mainstream news wasn't talking about this lawsuit more. She argued that someone as powerful as Grange could influence what stories get covered and which ones disappear. The lawsuit also names other executives, including Ethiopia Hailemariam and Christina Korum, saying they may have been aware of troubling behavior. The idea is simple. Big companies have big money, and big money can control what gets exposed. Then the story brings up another major name, Jay-Z. Diddy once said only 2 people could call him by his real name, Sean, his mother, and Jay-Z. Their relationship seems very close. Then Jaguar Wright, a singer known for making bold claims, went on Piers Morgan and accused Jay-Z and Diddy of terrible things. But something strange happened. That episode became very hard to find afterward. People wondered, if it was nothing important, why did it disappear so fast? Jaguar Wright also asked why Jay-Z never gets questioned about rumors or industry connections. Jay-Z has never publicly responded, and in today's world, silence often makes people even more suspicious. Rogan often talks about how powerful people don't fix problems themselves. They hire top lawyers who specialize in making scandals disappear. One name mentioned was Alan Grubman, an attorney who represents huge celebrities. These lawyers help powerful people stay protected, often through secret agreements like NDAs that stop people from speaking. In this world, information is power. If someone decides your story never gets told, it vanishes. Rogan also talked about how Diddy's alleged parties sound disturbingly similar to Epstein's setup. The idea isn't that Diddy invented this kind of system. Some believe he was a facilitator, someone playing a role for people above him. If recordings were being made, the big question becomes, who were they for? Who benefited? Some people believe these parties were honeypots, places where powerful guests could be recorded secretly and later controlled through blackmail. Rogan even suggested it could resemble an intelligence-style operation. Elon Musk joined this conversation too, hinting that some powerful people may fear certain lists becoming public. He suggested that some billionaires support certain politicians because they are afraid of what could be revealed. Names like Bill Gates and Reid Hoffman have been mentioned in public speculation. Musk's answer when asked if certain people seemed nervous was simple: yes. Then another uncomfortable question came up. Jennifer Lopez dated Diddy for years. She was close to him. So people wondered, did she know anything? Did she warn anyone? Publicly, she hasn't said anything. That silence made people ask even more questions. During federal raids, agents reportedly seized huge amounts of recorded material from Diddy's homes. Some believe it could include thousands of hours of footage. Commentators claim recordings like that aren't just scandal, they're insurance, a way to keep powerful people quiet. Megyn Kelly also pointed out something strange. Video of Diddy physically attacking Cassie Van Dora exists publicly, yet it wasn't part of the charges announced. That made people wonder, if something obvious isn't being addressed, what else is being hidden? More questions keep piling up. Who controls the recordings now? What's on them? What happens if major public figures are exposed? Another moment came from 50 Cent's documentary. Some viewers noticed Bishop T.D. Jakes appearing in certain scenes, which they believed was intentional. When asked directly about rumors, Jakes didn't clearly deny them. Instead, he told people to keep it moving and spoke about repentance covering sin. That response made the internet explode with speculation. Jaguar Wright argued that if a religious leader was around those circles, it could only be for money or access. Former bodyguard Gene Deal also questioned why a respected pastor would be connected to such events. Some researchers have started drawing the situation like a pyramid. At the bottom are celebrities like Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Above them are gatekeepers, powerful executives and media figures like Oprah or Clive Davis. And at the very top is an unnamed group of elites that some believe connect everything. People think the influence stretches beyond music, into politics, tech, and even religion. Dave Chappelle once warned about this kind of system. He said the entertainment industry isn't just about business, it's about control. He compared it to running from one plantation to another, different boss, same chains. And if someone as successful as Chappelle felt trapped, what does that say about everyone else? So after hearing all this, from Diddy's alleged recordings, to music executives, to powerful lawyers, to connections with Epstein, what do you think is really happening? Is it all coincidence, or are we seeing cracks in something much bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share if this made you think. What if the story everyone is watching isn't the real story? Right now, the headlines focus on Sean Diddy Combs, his arrest, the federal charges against him, the shocking allegations, and the serious accusations that continue to unfold in court. For many people, it feels like the end of a powerful empire, a music mogul facing consequences, a celebrity finally being held accountable. But what if that's only the surface? Recently, Joe Rogan discussed Diddy's case on his podcast, and the conversation quickly shifted from one man to something much larger. Rogan didn't just talk about the charges, he questioned the pattern. Why does it often seem like only one person falls when scandals involving powerful networks explode? Why does the spotlight stop at the most visible name? And why do the biggest institutions, the ones with the deepest pockets and the most influence, rarely face the same level of scrutiny? These are not accusations, they are questions, and questions can be powerful. Diddy has denied wrongdoing, and the legal process is underway. In America, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. That is important to remember. But the scale of the allegations has made people wonder whether the system around him deserves just as much attention as the man himself. Rogan's conversation drew comparisons to past high-profile cases, particularly Jeffrey Epstein. In that case, Epstein was charged with trafficking crimes. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted. Yet for many observers, a lingering question remained.
The charges against Sean Diddy Combs are serious. They deserve to be handled in court through evidence, testimony, and due process. That part is not entertainment. That part is real life, real people, real consequences. But the reason this story refuses to fade isn't just because of the allegations themselves. It's because of what they represent. When a powerful public figure falls, people naturally ask, was he alone? Who enabled him? Who stayed silent? Who benefited? And just as importantly, who is protected? History has shown us that power often operates in layers. There are visible figures, the celebrities, the moguls, the faces on magazine covers, and then there are the institutions behind them, corporations, executives, legal teams, media networks, political allies. These layers aren't automatically criminal, but they are powerful, and power influences outcomes. That reality makes people uneasy, because when influence shapes narratives, trust becomes fragile. But here's the line we have to hold. Asking questions is not the same as declaring guilt. Speculating is not the same as proving. Being connected socially is not the same as being complicit legally. If this case teaches us anything, it's that transparency matters, accountability matters, due process matters. It's easy to get swept up in viral theories and dramatic power pyramid diagrams. It's easy to believe that everything is controlled by unseen puppet masters. That kind of thinking spreads fast, especially in a world where institutions have lost public trust. But responsible thinking requires something harder: patience, evidence, clarity. If there are deeper networks of wrongdoing, investigations will uncover them. If institutions ignored warning signs, documentation will surface. If powerful figures committed crimes, proof must meet the standard of law, not the standard of social media. And if speculation outruns evidence, we must be disciplined enough to slow down, because truth doesn't fear scrutiny, it survives it. This moment is bigger than entertainment gossip. It's about how we respond when powerful systems are questioned. Do we demand accountability through facts, or do we replace one form of blind trust with another form of blind suspicion? Justice requires balance. We can question influence without inventing conspiracies. We can demand transparency without assigning guilt. We can acknowledge patterns in history without assuming every case follows the same script. So here's the real call to action. Stay informed, but stay critical. Follow verified updates from court proceedings, not just commentary clips. Distinguish between allegations, confirmed facts, and online speculation. Hold powerful people accountable, but also protect the principle that everyone deserves due process. Ask hard questions, but demand hard evidence. If media coverage seems selective, question it. If corporate structures appear opaque, analyze them. If political alliances raise eyebrows, examine them. But always return to documentation, sworn testimony, and credible reporting. And most importantly, do not let outrage replace thinking. Do not let fear replace reason. Power thrives when the public is either asleep or chaotic. The strongest position is neither. It is informed and steady. If this case ultimately exposes deeper systemic failures, reform should follow. If it remains centered on individual criminal conduct, accountability should be specific and fair. But we cannot decide that outcome in a comment section. The legal system will move slower than social media. That's frustrating, but it's necessary. Courts are built on standards, not viral momentum. So instead of chasing every explosive headline, commit to something more powerful. Commit to truth. Commit to evidence. Commit to consistency, whether the accused is famous, wealthy, politically connected, or unknown. Because justice only works when it applies evenly. And if there truly are cracks in larger systems, they won't be revealed through panic. They'll be revealed through persistence. Stay curious, stay grounded, stay patient. And when the facts emerge, wherever they lead, be ready to face them without distortion. That's how actual accountability happens, not through noise, through clarity.